What's up, everyone? Welcome back to episode 3 of the Stadia Scotland podcast. I am one of your hosts anyway, Gordy. And again, I am joined by Mr. Jordan Rennie. What's happening, Jordan?
Hello.
It's you. Hello. What's happening? Thanks for everyone tuning in so far, and for people leaving comments and likes and sharing. We checked, I think, the logistics of the Anchor podcast this the other day, and I think over 300 people have listened to our podcast so far, so that's pretty impressive.
Woo.
And we've got I think 20 subscribers on YouTube, so yeah, we're getting there. Definitely getting there. So we thought we'd do another podcast. This one's just been a kind of scheduling conflict, trying to get time where we can chat about stuff.
Yeah. Quite impromptu.
Yeah, indeed. We thought, why not? Jordan's got some free time, so we'll just do episode number 3 today. Also, it's kind of hard to record a lot of these podcasts, as I've been watching a lot of the guys on YouTube do daily Stadia videos. It's been hard for them, I can see now, because the drip of information has been slow and then get slower and slower. So it's hard to kind of keep talking about the same things, but then every couple of days a little tidbit comes out of information. So yeah, it's just a case of, Jordan coughing on the mic and us,
I actually aimed away. I was hoping you wouldn't hear it.
You forget that mic is so
I'm still getting used to this. Yeah,
yeah. Jordan's upgraded to a Yeti mic, so hopefully you guys can hear it.
Courtesy of Gordon.
Yes, indeed. It was not a spare, but I managed to buy one because I thought there was a fault with the old one, but it turned out it was just plugged into not the wrong port, but the Yeti mics don't play well with USB 3 ports. So I had I bought one already. I thought, help me out, help Jordan out. So
yeah,
thought, why not?
I'll scratch your back one of these days.
Yeah, of course, man. I know you'll help out, bro. So yeah, there's a lot to kind of break into, because we haven't been like most Stadia kind of outlets where we've been trying to post daily stuff or even weekly. I've been quite active on Instagram, trying to post a couple of things now and again and talk to people. I think we're up to maybe 40 followers, something like that. But then the podcast is different now that we're starting today, because a lot's happened in the last week or two since I think the last one went out. Although a kind of starting off point was, or something I wanted to talk about in general, was a Verge article that just came out today. And they said, or the title of the article is "The World is Waiting for Google Stadia to Flop," which is kind of disheartening, seeing this on top of just the absolute worst stuff for the last couple of weeks. People just seem to want to take this thing out the back and shoot it and bury it in the ocean and never.
Seems to be gaming culture at this point. Everything gaming, you got to crap on it somehow.
Yeah, it's really difficult, man, because you read a lot of these articles and you see a lot of these news headlines and you're just like, what is the actual deal? Like, I've never seen so much hate thrown into one thing ever. Like, when the PlayStation kind of flopped, or not PlayStation, sorry, when the Xbox flopped at the last, was it E3 2014 or something, when they were announcing Xbox One.
Yeah.
That kind of passed within maybe a month or two.
Yeah, next. I mean, they redeemed themselves. They listened. They heard, right, okay, we've fucked up here. And they went back in it, and they've done what they needed to do. So that's been forgotten about for good reason.
I mean, stuff like backwards compatibility and the Game Pass, like that's all stuff they've done to really try and win people back over. But I think it's just because there's been no way to test this stuff. There's been nothing like it before. No. So people are very
severely unknown.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, I've been part of the cloud gaming scene for a long time. Back in 2010-11, I was walking through on live, and back then the technology worked. Like, I mean, it wasn't perfect by any means, but the ability to open the system on my Mac at the time, click on a game and be in it within 15 seconds playing it, it worked, and at that time, I think initially when I was starting it, the early beta tests, I was using the American server. So I wasn't even playing on a local server. I was playing in a server in like New York or something. So yeah, like that's how far we've come in now. 10 years later, people still don't think that's the case. And everybody I know who's played it or had access to it at Google has said it works. It works. Now, of course, a lot of these guys are working in Silicon Valley or in the Bay Area, so servers are only a couple of hundred yards away.
Aye, they get the best possible connection. They get basically the top tier, the best you could expect. But they're not really testing on the more common speeds and the more common
areas.
Commonwealth. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I mean, the last video I done on the Stadia YouTube channel, you guys probably saw, was me walking through the tested interview where Norm went to the Google headquarters and tried out Stadia for himself. But like he was saying, apart from other things I tried to walk around and talk about, he was at their headquarters in San Francisco. So, he was getting the best possible experience. And yeah, running 4K 60 FPS HDR, but how's that going to work out in the field? How's that going to work in everybody's home? So that's the kind of make or break moment for Stadia. But I'm trying to stay optimistic because this is the digital future that I want. This is something where, I was a game collector. Like, I totally get the people who, a lot of guys like Dreamcast guy who are like just daily shitting on Stadia. I totally understand where they're coming from. I used to have an affinity for physical media. Jordan still does. He still collects games, collector's edition, stuff like that. But then, we all know from the years we've used Netflix and Spotify that, a lot of the media we'll be consuming will all be digital eventually. I mean, I've got, like I said, a couple of hundred games in my Steam library, but no physical discs.
A couple?
Yeah.
I've seen your library. It's a bit more than a couple.
Yeah, it's like 500 deep at this point. But yeah, that's because I've had a Steam account since...
Still plays Minecraft.
Yeah, still does indeed. So yeah, it's mostly just a thing where the move to this digital realm has been, kind of dragging its feet for a long time. But now I think we're probably prime positioned, especially because Google is at the helm. And I don't think that's what people seem to really comprehend, is that this isn't like a small indie company. This isn't even just like maybe a couple of $1 million company. This is a multi-billion-dollar company that has thrown so much money at this venture. They've got a 10-year roadmap. They're investing in a brand new studio in Montreal where Jade Raymond will be heading up, the former Ubisoft Assassin's Creed game director. And then, of course, they're going to be opening up a studio in London and Japan. So, I kind of see why people get this idea that, if this thing like fails quotes, inverted quotes, they're just going to pull the plug and run. I mean, they have invested serious time, money, and resources into Google Stadia working.
I think what people are thinking is, because what you need to remember is it will become a free service, and but I mean, granted, that won't really happen until 2020, but that's not far. That's not that far away.
A couple of months away.
I've heard a lot of shit over the $130 Founders Edition, which, I mean, fair enough if you're not getting like we've discussed last episode, you're not getting the Buddy Pass for the first couple of weeks at least. Just because they want to get all of them out to the people who bought it first. It makes sense.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But people need to remember this isn't a paid service. You're not paying. All you're paying for is the game. So, and the games, granted, there's only like 12, and a lot of them are like old games, but that's like fair enough. But there will be releasing more, and as you've just said, they're bringing out studios to have games just for the Stadia, which I'm excited about. I think they could do something really impressive with that, especially with the hardware that they're using.
I mean, they're already kind of doing that with Grid, I think is the game, because that has it has a 40-car race scenario that can only be done on Stadia.
Oh shit!
There was an article came out the other day that Grid's race system has this new 40-car race system where you can basically have up to 40 cars on the track, but that's only possible because they're using the services of Stadia. So
wow.
All that really means is that once Google Stadia gets in the hands of developers, is that they can start to maybe adjust, like maybe, for instance, say Battlefield or Call of Duty came to it, they can maybe set up a system where you could have like 100 players and or whatever. It's or PUBG,
like 100-player Battlefield.
Yeah, but then even like PUBG and stuff, you could have like 200 people or 500 instead of 100. So like the possibilities start to and as far as I know, Grid only took about 6 months to turn that over, that system, that mode. So it seems like a more level playing field. It seems like developers have the shackles taken off them, and Stadia can provide some really impressive tech, especially their floating AI points and chips that would allow NPCs to have, dialogue or even rapid responses to things you're saying to them. So
yeah.
There's a lot of possibilities that's going to make gaming really interesting. And of course, they're launching with Guilt as well, so they have one exclusive. I mean, again, it's not a massive blockbuster or anything, but it is still an exclusive to Stadia.
Yeah, and I think that I was actually going to mention that as well, but Guilt, because it does look pretty cool. It does look like a cool wee game. I'd be quite interested in playing it, but it's not, as you said, it's not really a big game. It's not going to make someone buy the Founders Edition. Nobody's going to go for it because of Guilt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we don't even know how well the other games will work on Stadia.
Yeah. I mean, like, the only issue I have at the moment is recently I managed to get some money off on the Epic Store. So I just invested in Red Dead, because that's one game I was kind of like, I do want to have it on my computer. Like, it is such a massive game. I know that, my rig has enough power to run it pretty well at 4K. So, I mean, I can't run anything at Ultra because it's such a demanding game, but I mean, it's pretty well up there, and I'm still running 60 FPS at 4K. So, but as we know, Rockstar has had a horrendous launch the last couple of weeks. Just getting, their launcher set up, and then people couldn't even launch Red Dead, and then when they run it, it was causing massive faults, and it was, I mean, I've definitely, over the last 2 days that I've been playing it, I definitely have experienced a lot of glitches in the game just quitting on me and having to start it back up again. I mean, luckily their save system is so unique that, I'm picking up just where I left off from, but it is a bit buggy to just, want to have to reboot the game every maybe half an hour or something.
Which, so, as expected, it's a huge game.
Moving that game to PC is definitely
it's a challenge, I can imagine.
Definitely a challenge, yeah. And I think it's just part of the parcel of moving to PC. I think with GTA, they probably had more streamlined because of the tech was a bit older, and also they had a bit more time with it. But Red Dead is such a technical marvel. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, playing it on my monitor 4K, there's some instances where I just have to like stop and I catch myself just staring at the distance because it's so pretty.
Yeah. I was doing that on the PS4 Pro. I can only imagine what it's like on the high-end PC.
Well, you're running pretty much the same. Yeah, I mean, you're running 4K as well. So, yourself, if you've got that high fidelity of a screen, then it really does shine on the system.
It's the backdrop. It's the amazing. I don't know. I'm one of these people that look up at the clouds and test and really look at the clouds to see how good the artists are. And Jesus Christ, it's like real life.
Well, Red Dead has one of the most advanced weather skyboxes, I think, in the industry at the moment, because there's so much stuff going on behind the scenes. Even catching yourself, like, seeing small rays of sunshine, like
seeing the moon bounce off the water and stuff. Oh my god!
Oh yeah, like even the water in that game is ridiculous. So I'm just I never managed to complete it, but I'm just at chapter 4 just now, just starting it.
Oh boy, just you wait.
Yeah, there's much fun to come. But yeah, that's the only thing I can see that's going to be slightly worrying about Stadia having Red Dead, because they probably might have the same issues. But then I know that John Justice has talked about the Stadia versions of the games are not just PC ports; they're custom versions that they've built to work with their servers. So, hopefully that means that they won't run into the same issues that, Red Dead's having on PCs at the moment. I'm also probably a bit more or less worried, because I know that with their blades that they're using, the custom chipsets that load the games are so fast. It should hopefully be only a couple of seconds loading into the game, because I know they're running some really impressive tech when it comes to hard drives. I mean, they're not physically hard drives, they're just chips at this point, so it's going to be, lightning quick stuff. So in that case, that's probably going to be a positive thing. But yeah, it does worry me slightly, because Red Dead's had so many issues at this point. I'm worrying how the Stadia version is going to look. Apart from that, everything else I think they're going to run is pretty okay, because there's nothing that's brand new apart from maybe Borderlands, but then again, that's not coming.
I mean, we're not going to have that for a little bit still. It's still got a way to go.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some positive things I've even thought about. And I don't know if I actually told you this, John, but because you get the buddy pass and you're part of that Founders Pack, you will get Destiny 2 included in your library, regardless of when you sign up for the buddy pass.
Oh, good.
So it comes with it's a thing not just for pro members but also for founders. So yeah, whenever you redeem that code, you will get Destiny 2. So
right, that's good. I mean, the main worry is the change name thing. That's the only thing I'm really like, but I mean,
Yeah, I'm
we'll see
hoping
what happens with that.
it's not going to be a case. I'm hoping it's going to be something that possibly people would take
Even
from
if
me.
like when you like, I think it should have been something like when you ordered it. So when you pre-ordered the Founders Edition, you write down the name you want if you already have one in mind, and then
Yeah,
that gets kind of put aside for you.
I'm hoping that's going to be the case. That I mean, they've said that they'll be issuing the codes basically in the order that people pre-ordered the system. Now, I pre-ordered mines back in, I think it was the start of October, when they were kind of just on their last run of Founders Edition. So I got maybe the third or second to last Founders Edition in the UK. But then hopefully that doesn't mean that I'm going to be waiting too long for my code. As far as I know, mines should be here according to my Google shipping date. It should be here by the 22nd of November. Now that's a couple of days after the launch, but then they've been told as soon as my Stadia package ships, I'll have an email, and the email will contain my founder's code, which will then be able to be redeemed for setting up my Stadia, which I'm actually going to run off a separate email. I was thinking about this. I don't know if I want to use my current mainly used Gmail account, or I want to try and set up something separate, because I don't know how that's going to work. If maybe something goes wrong or I need to get in contact, or I want to keep a track of what's happening with my Stadia account. For codes and stuff, I don't want to get stuff getting lost. So I'm going to use the email I've been using for this to work Stadia. I think that'll probably be the best bet. But then I was going to say, just on top of that Destiny 2 thing we were talking about, as far as I know, people were having suspicions, and I think they're probably halfway right of that. No one's actually talked about Division 2 yet. No one's talked about Doom 2016. So what people are starting to maybe theorize is that because these games aren't getting mentioned and aren't going to be on the service whenever, they think it's because these games are going to be offered as part of the Pro subscription. So if you're subscribed, like next month, you'll probably get Division 2. The month after that, you'll probably get Doom. So, I mean, there's going to have to be a game next month and the month after anyway. Yeah. So it makes sense probably makes more sense that Division 2 will be part of that, because I think they are eventually going free to play anyway.
Are they?
I think that is in the cards. I think they've not announced it yet, but I think it's going to be a case that will be going free to play. I know me just bought it, so or did you buy the PC version?
No, because I don't trust it on my PC. As I discussed last episode, I've got a potato PC. Yeah. I don't want to risk it.
I was going to say, yeah.
But that'll be interesting if it does go free to play. How will Stadia? I'm assuming they'll just make it free to play in Stadia as well then.
I think the versions we will get, like the Destiny version, I think the Division version will be like the ultimate one. So we'll get all the access to the when you buy
all
the DLC,
access basically.
Yeah, you get the ultimate version that includes all the extra story missions and all the extra loot and guns, and that'll be
pre-order
the case.
Bonuses probably.
Yeah, because like I was talking to Jordan today, because I still have I bought a year of the Origin access last year, the Premier one, and it doesn't run out till I think like maybe February. So I actually got access to Fallen Order. So, but with that version, because I'm part of the Origin Premier, I actually get the Ultimate Edition, which includes a lot of extras. So I think it'll be the same with the Pro subscription. Each version we get of that game will be the best version we can get of that game. So I think Division and Doom could be two games that are included in the pass. We'll have to obviously wait and see, but if that's the case, it's really good, because then you start to build these communities, because obviously Destiny 2 is built around multiplayer, so is Division. Doom maybe not so much, but
Doom Eternal's going to be co-op.
Yeah, but again, that's coming in May next year, definitely. But yeah, so there's a lot of single player games there, but I think it makes sense giving away a lot of the online multiplayer stuff, because then people within the service can play with each other. And then I know that Division, if not now, is definitely going to be a case where crossplay will be enabled, so people playing on Stadia will be able to play with PC users and Xbox users and PlayStation users.
That'll be good.
Which will be good, because the crowds for that game are getting kind of smaller and more defined. They tend to find that the people who are playing Division 2 now are kind of the same people who are playing Division 1.
They found a game and they've stuck with those kind of people.
Ubisoft are kind of masters at that, about just building these online games as services. Yeah, English. But But yeah, because they've done that with Siege, and now Rainbow Six Siege is, you know, a huge online thing now.
Yeah. And that was
Uh,
something I was going to talk. I was going to mention as well. There's so many. There's so many examples, good examples of, you know, games especially and services that started out horrible and then or started out kind of worse for wear and then ended up being amazing and have a big community and a big following and came back on their feet.
oh yeah, I mean,
So,
like,
especially in recent years, it seems to be a common thing now. It seems to be a common practice.
if you go back, like, I think whatever it is now, 12 years, and you look at how Netflix started, you know,
As a CD, put it in your mailbox, put it in your
well, not
mail
even that,
carton.
because I think the Netflix streaming service launched about 2008 or 9, and when that started initially, they had very few movies, TV shows. It was very slim.
Mm-hmm.
But now we get to the point, almost 10 years later,
They're
or
making
10
The
years
Witcher,
later.
and they've already
Well,
got a
yeah,
second season the way.
yeah, they're making all these exclusive shows. They're paying for movies to be made, and people are getting all these. So, I mean, like, I'm not saying it'll probably take 10 years, because the appeal of Stadia is obviously they just not port. Well, they port things to their service that are already made. But then, of course, now with these new studios, they'll be building exclusives for the system. And then, of course, Orcs Must Die 3. I mean, again, not a huge game, but that is another exclusive that's coming out. So there's two already.
Yeah. I mean, we
And
played
then,
the second one. That was a good game.
yeah, it was. I'll be playing it. I
It was
think
good
it's a
fun.
great game.
Yeah, it was a good game.
But then the rumor is as well that Stadia Founders Editions or founder members will get that game for free when it comes out. So there's that, plus the fact that, you know, Jade Raymond's heading up the studio, and they reckon, because people say, you know, these things take 4 or 5 years. You know, Kojima put out Death Stranding in less than 3 years, or 3 years exactly, or something like that. So
yeah, and it's now become the celebrated game that's came out in since probably Red Dead.
100%. So I mean, like, you'll probably see, because this technology, especially because they're using exclusively Google Stadia technology, you're maybe not going to be waiting 4 or 5 years traditionally, like most games, because, you know, you're not building around an architecture that has limitations or things that, you know, will slow down progress. And, you know, Google probably already have their own engine. So yeah, you probably might even see, like, in 2 years, say, you know, you'll probably have a game coming out or something, or a variation of that.
That's something I was thinking about. See, Google's engine. I'm curious to know if, like, what they're using. Has that been released yet?
I think, as far as I would be, because I mean, I know we're just talking about this, where Death Stranding uses the Horizon Zero Dawn engine from Guerrilla Games, but I think if they're going to be building their own stuff on this brand new tech that is exclusive to their blades and their data centers, it would probably make more sense for them to be using or making or inventing, their own
from the ground
engine.
up, their own engine. Yeah.
Like stuff that, you know, only can be done in Stadia and can't be done anywhere else.
Exclusivity.
Exactly, because then if you're, you know, making a game where you're like, oh, you know, Fortnite's great, but what if there was 500 people on the map and there's only, you know what I mean? Then
exactly.
Then it starts to get nuts, you know. Then it starts to get crazy.
What if you want a Fortnite with, like, I don't know, hyper realistic graphics and stuff, and be able to handle more people, like you said? Stadia, like, allegedly could probably handle that.
Or work in teams, because there's 500 people, so you get maybe 10 people on a team, but then all those people are AI, and because the AI is so advanced in Stadia, all those guys can talk to you and cover you.
Oh my god, that would be mental.
Gather resources for you. Like,
what game does that remind me of? Oh, I used to play a game like that on the PS2. No, on the Xbox 360. It was a good game. It was like a Tom Clancy game or something.
All right, yeah, I don't know, but
sounds exactly.
And then of course next, I think it's March, Uplay Plus will be coming to Stadia, which means if you pay the money for, I think it's $10 a month or something like that over here, but then you'll get access to all those Ubisoft games, like Division, like Siege, For Honor, Ghost Recon, you know, all those kind of things that are coming out. They'll be part of it. So yeah, if that's the case, then because people are really complaining, saying, you know, oh, you know, there's no games on it. There's, you know, you have to pay for the game separately. But then if you wait to get the free service and you already have a Uplay Plus subscription, you can jump onto Stadia and play all those games for nothing.
Yeah,
if you think about it, you know what I mean. Which is absolutely crazy to think that, you know, you could hop into, you know, any browser or your phone or whatever, and then open Stadia and just jump into, you know, a game of Division or For Honor or Rainbow Six Siege. Because Siege and For Honor are both coming to Stadia, has been announced, but just we haven't got a release date for them yet. But yeah, it's excuse me, it's going to be a definite plus because then that
Yeah.
will sell people to come to use the service.
Well, that's the most, I think that's the most attractive part of Stadia's service and what they offer. Like that is the most attractive part is diversity and being able to just go in and out of a game wherever. Oh, she wants to go in the TV now. Okay, I'll jump in the other room, go on my
Yeah,
iPad or go on my phone or whatever.
or sit in the same room and use your iPad, and
Well,
then
well, yeah, exactly.
yeah, I mean, and it's seconds between the service. You just click a button on your phone or your iPad and it launches. So, I mean, there's 100 different ways that Stadia will probably be really handy. Even like I says, if you're on holiday or you're away from your computer and you want to still play something, you can use a friend's computer that might just be, a bog standard computer, might not have anything fancy, but you can just open a tab and jump into a game, of whatever while you're away.
Yeah.
For me, that seems really awesome.
I think Siege is going to be Stadia's biggest challenge. It's going to be the biggest. It's going to be the one that will really make or break it because it's purely because of latency, just latency.
Yeah.
But you need to be pinpoint accurate in that game, and you can't afford to have any lagging or any glitches or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that will be an interesting to see how that
We've
goes.
both played Siege for long enough on the PC, and we even know that on dedicated PCs there's still issues. So yeah, that will be definitely a challenge. But then again, they've been running Doom for long enough. That's also a Twitch game, not with other online people, but you're fighting against the AIs. But
that's also pinpoint. To be fair,
yeah, I mean that'll be interesting to see how that works. But then again, I think these things have not been announced yet because there probably is still a lot of behind the scenes going on to make it worthy of Stadia, that it's going to work properly. So yeah, and then I think I looked the other day, just out of curiosity. Excuse me. That the closest Stadia server, I think, to us is Dublin. I may be wrong about that, but I think it is.
All right, okay.
So if that's the case, I mean, that's no bad. That's only a couple 100 miles from us. So it's not, miles and miles and miles away. It's no, we're not having to rely on servers in France or Switzerland or whatever. Dublin for us is not, it's not too far away. So hopefully that means that the latency will be pretty low. But then again, this all comes down to day one. I mean, the funny thing is, you think about this now. Me and Jordan are recording this on the 14th. The service launches in 5 days, so it's going to be really interesting to see, day one, how it fares. And I think the blanket statement I really need to make now is that I'm not expecting this to work perfectly day one. Yeah. I know, any service in the world, it's going to have some issue that they've no seen or no thought about, or something that people will do that they've no taken into consideration. I think it's almost naive to think that these things will run without a hitch.
Of course.
It was just the other day, Disney Plus launched in the US with Mandalorian, and of course, there was lots of people who couldn't log in. They couldn't get into the app. There was something wrong with their email, or they had to go re-verify.
That's what day one patches are for.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, if a company like Disney, who own half the world at this point, can't get their service to run perfectly at day one.
They'll own Google at some point.
Well, probably. Yeah, I'm not expecting, it to run absolutely perfectly day one. I'm expecting it to probably crash occasionally, or maybe there'll be really bad latency, but I'm willing to see it through. I believe in this tech. I really want it to work. I really think it is the future. I think it's going to be a bigger convenience for us because, the days where I can be sitting on a train and pull out my phone and watch Netflix shows, or even, just listen to my Spotify playlist.
That was a dream at one time.
Yeah, Spotify to me, when I first got into Spotify, and I'm talking this was back in 2000 and maybe 6 or 7, I was stunned that I could type any artist or band into the search bar and I could listen to their music within seconds. I was like, how is it doing this? Because before then, I'd had so much music on my iTunes, or I was downloading them into folders on my computer. So the fact that I could just type in a song and it was playing in 5 seconds was incredible. I mean, it was my dad's 50th at the time, I think, when we first got it. And I hooked a couple of speakers up in the outside bit. We were having the kind of party, and everyone was just coming in and requesting songs and be like, "Oh, you've got this one, and you've got this." I've got everything. I was just playing songs, and I had the crossfade functionality, so it just seemed like playlists were just kind of melting. But that's what I'm saying. When that technology came out, I was blown away and thought, this is definitely a future I want to get behind. Same with Netflix now, and even when YouTube launched, people had their doubts about YouTube, and I was one of the early adopters. I had a gaming channel since 2009, so yeah, YouTube to me has been a home away from home for 10 years. So I've every faith that Google are probably better placed than most people, because if you think about it, they've been encoding video and sending it over the internet for 10 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's anybody who has the power to do it, it really is Google.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
one of the biggest companies in the world.
Yeah, I mean, like, definitely one of the biggest guns when it comes to Silicon Valley.
They've got the resources for it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, YouTube's done everything perfect. There's been moments, of course, that, I haven't agreed with a lot of the stuff they've done. When a lot of the guys I was watching, or the content creators I was watching, were getting hit with the adpocalypse and we're struggling to make money and all this kind of stuff, and how they've not been really transparent with their LGBTQ crowd.
Mm-hmm.
It's been kind of shitty, obviously, and if you guys haven't watched that, check out Nerd City's channel. He's done a really, really good video recently on YouTube and the kind of behind the scenes things that aren't being talked about. But when it comes to Stadia, I think, if there's anybody that could do it well, it would be Google. So
agreed.
Yeah, I think as well, like, just jump in before you come back in, Jordan, is that I think, like, if Netflix opened up and said we're going to start a gaming service, I'm wondering, would they have the same hate as Google?
Yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean? So, what's your view on it, Jordan? How do you, because you now know a bit more because I've kind of got you involved in this, but you didn't really have a massive interest in it, I suppose, initially, before I kind of was like, yeah, I've got a buddy code and you can get involved in it.
Well, just like most other people, I think, it sounded cool, I liked the idea of it, but I was skeptic, very, very skeptic. I'm still quite skeptic a wee bit. I'm not 100% there that it'll completely work, but as you've said before, and as we've already touched on, that's what day one patches are for. You're going to expect it not to work first time. And I think people need to remember that, just like you've said. So I'm on the fence, but I'm more optimistic now than I was before, I think. And I think that's because just by doing this podcast, I'm learning more about it, and I'm, actively seeking information about it so I can see for myself instead of just hearing what, a 300 character tweet says, or 240 or whatever the fuck it is now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think people are definitely hating on it for the wrong reasons, and like we were talking about earlier,
it doesn't help. It doesn't help when you've got folk like, and don't get me wrong, I love Inside Gaming, but there was an episode that I watched recently that about the lineup and just shitting all over it, and I said, well, do you know what? It's a brand new service. We don't even know. It probably for all we know, it takes a lot for these games to be ported to that system and make them enhanced. We don't know until we play it and look into it ourselves. So it doesn't help when you've got, Inside Game platforms like Inside Game and all that, just in The Verge, just crapping all over it, because people are going to listen to them more than they're going to listen to Google or the facts kind of thing.
I think definitely 100% agree with what you're saying. Again, I love the guys at Inside Gaming. They're totally good dudes, but and I know they're only reporting on, like, the facts that are coming out and what they think about it, but at the same time, it's having a little faith in that the service will eventually, get. And I know what they're saying. Oh, we spent $130, but look, that includes a $70 Chromecast Ultra, a controller that's also $70, 3 months of Stadia Pro, which I won't be paying for initially. Well, I've paid for, but then I won't be paying for every month. Jordan also gets 3 months of it. So it's like $300 worth or £300 worth of stuff that comes within, just over $100. Yeah. To get early access to a system that really hasn't properly launched yet, I think is, the people who wanted to buy that have bought it, and everybody else is kind of like,
and it was optional. Remember that?
Yeah,
it was optional.
Totally. You can wait till,
you don't need to buy it. You can wait until it's free.
You can wait till it comes out for free, and they've talked about their game pricing will be very competitive. So like, the Red Dead probably won't be $60 or £60, whatever it will. It might be 40 or whatever. And then the founders will also get exclusive discounts. So we'll probably maybe get 10 to 20% off games as well. So yeah, I think it's very reasonable. And again, like I was talking about Inside Gaming, and the point I was trying to originally make was that, they've talked about the negative stuff, but I think where Google have fell down or kind of dropped the ball is that, apart from the recent AMA, which was kind of hit or miss, I think they've just not been giving out enough information before launch, because the AMA also stated yesterday that there won't be another Google Connect before launch, which is really surprising to me, because I thought that the guys would want to come out and just definitively talk about, here's the games, here's the features, here's what's going to happen day one.
Just show all the cards. Just show
Yeah,
what you've got.
basically.
Yeah.
But since the last Connect, which I think was, God, I can't even remember, a couple of months ago, maybe even, it's been like radio silence. I mean, they've had, their social media accounts have been kind of active and they've been responding to people, but it's the same answers over and over again. They're never really given proper, words like, this will be this much and it will launch that, and it will be, which I think for it being this close to launch, they really should have some more transparency as a company when it comes to a whole launch of a brand new service.
I think they're worried a little bit. I don't know. I think just because it is all so new, and obviously this is a big gamble. They don't know how this is going to go. They've spent so long on it and so much money on it that they're pretty much just full on investing in it. And I think that's why they're being careful about what they're telling us and what, because as we've seen in past years, expectation is a killer to a lot of games and services.
Yep.
Case in point, No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Case in point. And obviously, you've seen how that's went. They've now got a brilliant game, actually. I played it I think it was like 6 months ago I played it last, and it was amazing. It's actually a really good game. And they're still working on it. So I'm kind of, it's unfair to compare it to that, but I kind of am a wee bit, because it does give off the same feeling.
I think you've raised an interesting point there, because I think where that probably has parallels is that Sean, I forget the guy's name, but he the guy who run the studio for No Man's Sky, he done a recent article, one of the first he'd done in a long time, where he was like, the reason they were so radio silent for years while they were working on the game was because there was nothing they could say that would change people's minds.
Yeah.
Nothing they could do that would make anybody feel better. The only way they could change how the game was presented or taken was that they would get in and fix the features they promised and deliver them.
Exactly.
That was the priority. He was like, I don't want to spend time doing interviews or talking to people and talking about how we failed or whatever. He's like, I would rather sit behind the computer and finish the game that I wanted it to be and put that out into the public. And then when I get to that point where I feel like it's done, then people can judge, then I can give feedback. But then up until that point, it's just all hate, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think that's why Google are also being silent.
I mean, that makes sense to me. And it's the same with, if you want to put it into a real life aspect to people who maybe don't play games or anything like that and don't know what the hell we're talking about, it's the same as if you decide, right, I'm going to work on myself and decide not to post anything on social media about it. So you go to the gym, not telling people you go to the gym, just doing it. Getting healthy food on a new diet, just not telling people about it. That, because you're focusing, because then you're not worried so much about what other people are thinking, and you can just concentrate on it instead of getting confused by different opinions, left, right, and centre. I think that kind of correlates to what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I feel like, it's something I've been doing recently where I've been trying to focus more on my career and pushing my artistic ability, but then, of course, I don't want to, do what I would typically do, because, I have fallen victim to this so many times of posting, the life-changing post on Facebook or Instagram, whatever it is, saying, right, guys, I'm going to go dark, I'm going to focus on this, that, and the other thing. The more you talk about it, the more people eventually will just be like, oh, for fuck, do it or don't.
It subconsciously becomes an attention thing, and you don't want that.
Yeah, of course. And I think that's why I recently came off Facebook about 3 weeks ago, and I've been silent since. I've no went back on. But
same.
Yeah, I'm definitely the better for it. The only thing I'm really actually running is the Stadia stuff for Stadia Scotland. So, I think Google is in a sense doing the same thing where they're like, right, it launches in a week or whatever. Let's just get it into the hands of people. At this point, the Google headquarters will be running about, it'll be like people, with their heads on fire. People will be running in and out of doors and making stuff, make sure all the packages are shipped, all the orders go out, the service is ready to go, because they know, like, the less good or the more crap, that is day one, people can just turn around and be like, people can turn around and be like, oh, I told you so. It doesn't work. I knew it was going to fail. Well,
exactly.
But then if if I log into Stadia day one and everything works, it's like, okay, then where's the hate coming from now? What else can you complain
so
about?
what you got now? Aye.
Yeah, like the service works. Look, I'm showing you just now. I'm clicking on a game and it's running.
They're doing in my, like you're saying, and I mean, in my opinion, they're doing the right thing and not saying too much, because
Yeah.
is a new thing. It is a big thing. Like, it's huge. If it works and it works well, you know it's going to change gaming. You know there's going to be clones out there.
Yeah.
You know it's just going to take off. You know, Epic Games will be next, or whatever. They'll want to
Yeah.
probably venture into that line.
Mhm.
Ubisoft, I have no doubt, will want to do that too. But I mean, as you said,
Yeah.
they're kind of with Stadia.
Yeah.
So who knows? But
Yeah. And I
they're
mean,
being
people
smart
talk
about it.
about like people talk about developers as well and how, like the Wii U came out or the Vita came out and third party support was terrible and everybody abandoned it. They already have like 31 developers plus, clamoring over themselves to get their games on the service. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, it takes time for everyone to be processed, but like, they've already got so many people signed up and they're like, it's not a case of you've got to choose a side, Xbox or PlayStation. It's just another avenue for people to sell their games. So of course they're going to be like, well, of course we're going to put it on this platform because then that's even that's another revenue stream. That's more money we can get.
Mm-hmm.
And like I mean, Rockstar are probably one of the hardest guys to convince to move between platforms, but they were one of the first people. And like recently, the whole PC version of Red Dead was announced and it came out, but then they were talking about they were making these deals like a year or two ago. They were so confident in the system and they had done so much pre-game that they were like, we need to get these people on board in 2016, like 3 years before we launch. So they've been working, one of their heads of engineering, I forget the guy's name, but he's been working on this technology since 2014, 5 years ago. And he's like, even past launch, they don't see that as the end. That's like just the beginning for them. They have a whole 10-year roadmap of, features and systems and games they want to have out by certain points. So that doesn't tell me that this is just a small investment that they're just throwing into it, whatever. This tells me that this is something that they have put a lot of their money and time behind. So, yeah, people can get, snappy and say, oh, well, it's this and that. Google, I think's best, weapon is going to be when it comes out next week and people can play it and it's great. And then it's, as that word of mouth starts to, spread through the internet and people who are founders are going on and playing it and, streaming games and it works, then you've got to say to yourself, well, then what's the argument next? Like, what can we complain about? I mean, then even then, Lackey Games, they've promised that, it will launch with 12 initially, but then 6 weeks after that, the rest of the games will drop. The other, I think it's another 12. So you've got like, Darksiders Genesis is going to launch day and day with PC and Stadia on December 5th. Borderlands 3, I think, will be coming within the first 2 weeks. Final Fantasy 15, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Grid, Metro Exodus, NBA 2K20, Rage 2, Wolfenstein Trials. So, there's more of these games that they expect within the first 6 weeks will all be part of the service. And then that's not even talking about the next influx of games that they'll probably have for launch, the official launch. Well, I say the official launch, the public launch that'll happen, January or February. And they'll probably have another, 30 odd games. So, when you look at a system like that and it works and it's doing well, and it maybe, by the time it launches, us close to 50 games. Yeah, I don't think it's going to really struggle to hit home and make people feel like it's worth investing in. I definitely know that if I could buy something like Red Dead 2 on Stadia and be at my parents' house or a friend's house and just open a browser in Chrome, log into Stadia and be playing it within 5 minutes, as long as I brought my controller with me, obviously, or use the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
Then like, why would I want to do that? Because it's a very convenient thing. I was listening to Game Over Greg Miller, talk about, because he travels so much for work, the fact that he can be in a hotel room, with his laptop and his Chromebook and just boot up a game, hook up to his TV. Why would you not want to do that? And of course, like if your friends have Chromecast Ultras as well, if Jordan invested one, if I came round for the night or wanted to play some of my games on his Chromecast, I can just stream it straight to the Chromecast and play it with my controller.
Pick up
No
from where you
question
left
that.
off. Get me to help
Exactly.
you.
Yeah, the same. And
It's an exciting
luckily,
thing.
yeah. Again, if Jordan invests in a Chromecast and a controller at one point, then or a Chromecast and any controller, then he can also then move to the living room and play his games there as well. So,
well, oh, sorry, where was it? I had something. It's gone. It was there. It's gone. Okay, never mind then.
okay.
Well, the way I'm seeing this whole thing, because obviously I feel like the main focal point of this episode is to do with the hate going towards Stadia at the moment,
Yeah,
and all the doubts and
yeah.
people wanting it to fail and expecting it to flop. The way I'll give you an example of how I'm seeing it now, especially if they're just keeping quiet and holding on to their gun, or just sticking to what they're thinking. So
Yeah.
if you remember, there was a fight between two women in the MMA and one of them was what's her name, Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Rose Namajunas. So basically what happened was Joanna was horrible and just constantly being like a Conor McGregor type, just really bullied her, really put her down, was just being such a bitch basically. Rose did nothing. She basically just kept staring, didn't put up a fight, didn't do anything to antagonize, whereas Joanna's pushing, spitting, all that stuff, right? Gets to the ring, even coming up to the ring, Joanna's just this cocky shit. Walking up, bell, your fireworks going off, all this stuff, the big balls on this bitch, basically.
Yeah.
Rose just walks in, normal, with his team, with her manager, blah, blah, blah. Goes in, and Rose fucks Joanna up. Because Rose has been training, concentrating on the fight. Joanna's too busy trying to rile up the crowd, trying to get a reaction, all this stuff, and not actually... Well, she probably was focused on the fight too, but you know what I mean? It's that thing where, in this case, what I'm seeing is people are just being a right fucking Joanna, and more people need to be a fucking Rose, because Google just seems to be like a Rose right now. Just, I'm just going to shut up. I'm not... Just don't go... Don't... Just stick to your guns, and then hopefully it ends up just like that, where they get to the ring and Rose is just like, nah.
I think it's the same thing, right? You were just talking about, but the exact same thing, because you were just talking about Conor McGregor, but when he fought Jose Aldo, Jose was very quiet, calm and collected. Conor was, shooting his mouth off for a long time. And then McGregor lost it with tap out, and Jose was just very...
fucking rematch. Why did I go Australian? Why did I go Australian?
But yeah, like it's...
Never make me do an accent ever again.
I'll never do. But yeah, no, it is a thing where, like, I think Google is just like, we've said enough. Here's what our plan is. There's enough videos there. We've talked about what the service is going to be, and I even hate the fact that people are, talking about like, oh, day one, it's not going to have this feature, and day one, this first initial 3 months is just for us.
Yeah.
It's just for the founders to get their feet wet and come in and reap the rewards of being the first guys in the door. By the time the Stadia service launches publicly, we'll have Destiny 2, the entire experience, for free. Well, I say for free, we're paying for it, but you know what I mean? Like, we'll have that game, because I think, like I say, Shadowfall or the latest expansion is like $50. So, we're getting that for the $9.99 a month, but then we've paid that up front. But we'll have that, plus 2 other major games, probably something like Division and Doom, by the time this service launches, and we wouldn't have to buy any of them. So, by the time it launches, we'll have a couple of games in our library. We'll be able to open it anywhere we want to go. And then, if it comes to it and Jordan feels like, the service is good, but I'm not really bothered about paying for the 4K and the free games. I just want to have my library wherever I go. He can just cancel and just continue to pay for it. But then he can open a browser anywhere and still play those games wherever he wants. On his computer, on his TV, whatever. So, a game like people saying like, there's, it's going to miss, there's going to be any family sharing, there's not going to be any, yeah, those things will come. But then the initial thing that they're focusing on is making sure the games run well and they run without lag. That is the first and most important concern.
That's the core thing of Stadia.
Games that work. Like family sharing and everything else is just like bells and whistles. The core meat and potatoes of the service is the fact that it will run the games and run the games well. That should be the first concern for everybody. Past that, then you can throw in family sharing and friends lists and achievements and whatever else. But I'm not really bothered about all that stuff. I just want to be able to open a browser in my Chrome, my Chrome web browser, and just log into Red Dead, and within 5 seconds I'm playing it. And it runs at 4K, it runs at 60 FPS. Excuse me, that's my biggest concern. If that is met and that is, great and it works, then fantastic. I'll not have any complaints.
Yeah.
I won't care that there isn't achievements. I won't care that there isn't,
That would be good,
mods.
though. That would
No,
be good.
but achievements is coming. As far as I know, achievements is definitely something they're doing early on.
Like a reward thing?
Yeah, well, no, achievements just within the game, like Xbox achievements,
Like,
PlayStation
right, okay.
that kind of stuff. But I know someone was even talking about this the other day, and I can't remember what the article was, but it definitely was something like official, and I'll need to try and find it again. But I'm sure it stated that there is an option that you can, I think only if you're on PC, you can download the metadata from your game, which will include save files. So if you want to then physically take all your information from that game, put it on your PC, and then play a PC version of it, you can do that. I don't know about re-uploading those files to tamper with, because then you could obviously get into like all kind of modding or cheating and stuff like that, and all on files. But that was another feature. So I mean, there's various. In fact, it was actually a response, I'm sure, on an AMA on Reddit. People asking, what if the service discontinues or fails? What would be the outcome? And one of the things was saying, like, oh, we don't want it to fail. Of course, we don't think it's going to, but we do allow people to download metadata from their games if they wanted to then continue that, on another system. So, which is great. I mean, the only thing I saw the benefit of that is the fact that because I've done so much on console, when I installed Red Dead on my PC, I could install a save file that got me to chapter 2 already, so I didn't have to replay all that initial
that's good
intro stuff. So yeah, and I played from then to 4. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's also another great feature. But yeah, I think the main focus, like I said, will be making sure the games run. That's their number one priority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just came across a Reddit post I think is relating to what we're talking about.
Right.
So it's on the Stadia, the r /Stadia, our Stadia, whatever. It just simply titled "Just Cancel." Please, if you're going to post a moan and say it's going to make you cancel, just cancel. The button is right there on the Google Store orders page. Don't worry about posting to let us know. Just go and do it. There's plenty of us who are perfectly happy, and you guys kindly getting out of the queue will sure help a bunch of us move up the delivery time list. You'd be doing us all a great favour, so thanks. Please just cancel. And oh yeah, he got silver and gold for that, so yeah. I agree. Just, it's not something you don't have to get the Founders Edition. If you're really going to moan, if you're really unhappy, there is a cancel option, and you will get your money back if you've already paid, which, I don't know, did you already pay?
Yeah, I paid up front. But then, of course, the money has been taken, but if I cancel, they will refund the money to me. Yeah. But at this point, I'm quite happy to stay. And, it's like, there was an old Ricky Gervais joke, like, I think it was last year, the year before, he was doing a tour, and he was talking about how social media in general and the internet is like someone walking through London city centre and seeing an advert for guitar lessons, and then he picks up the flyer and phones the number and screams, "I don't want fucking guitar lessons."
I've seen that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, that flyer's obviously no for you. It's not meant for you. You didn't have to take guitar lessons. So it's a thing where people are just hating on Stadia, I think, now, because it's like the popular thing. And StadiaCast's Bill said it really, really cleverly, where he was like, people will get a lot of views for the I hate Stadia thing. To be in the hate train is getting people views and likes and whatever else. And then, like I said, when the service comes out and it works, people do the I was wrong, thing, which obviously gets a lot of views as well.
Yeah. Oh, I'm surprised to be wrong, or whatever.
But guys, I was wrong. Yeah.
But the thing is, hate is such a big culture, and it's such a big thing in our culture. It's cool to hate.
Yeah.
And I don't get it.
Everybody, and like Kojima talked about Death Stranding was inspired by stuff like Brexit and Trump, but it was also because the attacks of people online now are getting so dramatic. Mm-hmm. He really, really wants to make this game, or made, Death Stranding, because he wanted people to reconnect and be kind to each other.
Which he did in a very smart way.
Yeah, so I mean, even the fact that you can like stuff in the game, but you can't dislike. It's impossible to dislike. So he's really trying to force people to be like, be kind, be nice to people.
Because you can, it's like Dark Souls. You can put in ladders and stuff and leave things for other players to
the
get
hints and stuff. Yeah. Well, of course, some people troll that. So
obviously there's going to be trolls.
People are like, oh, just jump off the cliff and woof. Yes.
Just drop the baby. You gotta eat that.
But it's like, because some people have actually started doing that, where they've made these ladder systems in Death Stranding, but when you get to the top of them, you can't actually get off the cliff, so you have to follow the way back down. So
Yeah.
there is people who are doing that, but at the same time,
I think
yeah,
I'm going to get that game. I'm
yeah,
really,
no,
really
100%, yeah,
tempted
you
to
need
get that
to,
game.
yeah. But yeah, it's coming to PC as far as I know next year. I think.
Will it come to Stadia though?
Yeah, again, another big question
That's the
because
question.
I think it will. I think there's definitely
yeah.
because it's such a new, Sony have the right to publish it, so it'll be up to them, I suppose, and Kojima. But I think it would make sense because all the Metal Gears came to PC eventually. So I mean, I think Death Stranding would definitely, and then again, it's another round of sales. It's another way of making more money off that game. So I definitely, that's the only thing I hated is that when they announced that game, I didn't get in the pre-orders early enough because that collector's edition with the baby,
it's so weird.
looked
It's so
ridiculous.
weird. It's
I
cool.
wish I could have had it.
It is cool. Like especially the case. I think the case is. Well, in my opinion, the case is the coolest, but just because it looks very premium, it looks really cool.
Like even the Fallout 76, although there's a whole thing of like that game being crap, but the fact you got the life size helmet that you could put on and
that was cool. Yeah,
that was really cool.
It was the same with I think never mind.
I think Doom Eternal's got the same thing.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I couldn't remember what game it was. I was trying to remember.
Yeah,
Doom Eternal,
I think that also has something similar. So, like it's very popular to hate and stuff. It's very popular to be a naysayer and negative Nancy. So, I think the people who like us, and like me and Jordan have said, we're not sitting here saying everything's rosy and everything's going to work day one and it's going to be perfect. Of course, we understand. Yeah, I almost
right now it won't.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely guarantee it's going to break day one and something's going to go wrong.
I'll be surprised if you could log in day one.
Yeah, definitely with the amount of people trying to do it. So I totally am prepared for that, and I didn't expect to be playing it, brilliantly day one. And I still have my PC, so I can still play games here.
Mm-hmm. I'm still playing Outer Worlds.
Yeah, but then I mean, it's more for people like Jordan as well, who have not a super up to date computer or something that's modern and
far
a big
from it.
card. So yeah, for him, if he can just launch, and Chrome doesn't take that much to run. Well, it does, in essence, it takes a lot to run. But
I'm actually using Firefox right now.
Yeah, but then if you can run a game from his browser, it's definitely going to be a step up in the world. So
definitely,
especially if you can play stuff like Red Dead 2 or Destiny, games like that. So. Yeah, and then of course playing with me, so that'll be interesting as well. I definitely think people are being negative for obvious reasons, but I think definitely the more positive route is the way to go and try and embrace this new technology. And look, at the end of the day, if Stadia fails for whatever reason and they do pull the plug and whatever, well then, I mean, fair enough. Like things like this happens. Nothing's perfect. At least they tried. But again, the amount of money they've invested, all the studios they're opening, the infrastructure, the advertising, the marketing, all that money would be such a loss to them. I know they're multi-billionaires at this point, but the amount they've invested in this is a lot of money. So I cannot see them giving up. I think the first couple of months, as us as founders, will be rocky, but we expect that. We knew what we were signing on to, and like Jordan says, and unlike the Reddit says, if you're really at this point still negative about it, just cancel it, just whatever, and move on with your life. You didn't have to shout it for the rooftops and make posts about it.
Exactly. And the fact that it is old games as well, I mean, you're not missing out. You can, I mean, a lot of those games I've already played or already own. So I'm not, I mean, if I was a founder and I decided I'm not happy with what they're doing and I cancel, at least I can still play those games.
Yeah,
it's not like
exactly.
I can't play those games.
Exactly. I mean, I've got Red Dead on my system at the moment. I don't have stuff like Borderlands or the other ones, but like I'm quite happy if the service is down for a couple of days or needs to go down for a day for maintenance. Then sure, I can just go back to playing my games as I normally do.
I guarantee you, the first year, especially, you're going to see some maintenance. We're going to do some of this for maintenance.
Yeah, I definitely think. I think the first 3 months with the founders is definitely going to be their beta testing and their stress testing. I definitely think that's going to be the time that they're going to get prepared for the public switch to go up. Because, of course, when the public switch goes up, you're inviting everybody who's on YouTube to play a game on Stadia, and that's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. And then, of course, beyond that, they want to try and get a controller in everybody's hands. So then you're talking more people than that, and there's billions of people on this planet. So I think what they're trying to do is great, getting games into the hands of non-gamers and getting people to play games, without having to buy an Xbox or a PlayStation. If you've got a Chromecast, if you've got, a web TV, or even just an iPad or an iPhone, that stuff is coming, and that will be, the barrier of entry will be then gone. So yeah, because I even know, like my dad, I know he's a huge Western fan, and he's always been totally intrigued by Red Dead. So if I can just boot up the Chromecast and hand him a controller and he's playing Red Dead in a couple of seconds, he'll be definitely more keen to try that than me having to go back into his house and try and set up an Xbox, or tell him how to work a PlayStation, or how to put the disc in and load it and update it. If he can just literally have a controller and press one button and he's playing it, that's that's the element, really. That's all you really need.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Anything else to add, Jordan, before we tie up?
No, but I can officially confirm that our data center is Dublin.
Cool.
I just had a look.
Yeah, which will be relevant to people in Scotland, and maybe even people in England as well, because I didn't see one that was close to.
Literally, it's just the closest is Dublin, and the only other one after that is Belgium. That's the second closest. Right. So yeah,
it depends mileage wise, but yeah, I think those are at least the two that will be closest to us. So
yeah.
If people are playing, and again for us, that's not too far away. That's no, a million miles away. It's not the other. It's not America or anything. So we've got one this side of the ocean at least. So
it's decent.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be a case where it's close enough that we'll not see a ton of latency.
No, it's usually London. Excuse me, it's usually London as well. Anyway,
yeah, especially because I can open my browser at the moment and play a 4K video from, a server in America from, the guys at YouTube. So, I generally can do that pretty well. I've already done the Google Stadia test, and my connection's supposed to be, good enough that I'll get 4K video, not a problem. So,
same.
Yeah, should be fine. Should be absolutely fine. Okay, well, thanks everybody for listening to us rant for the last hour about how awesome Stadia is going to be. Seriously, guys, thanks for helping us out so far and sharing and liking and listening to the podcast. If you've got any comments or suggestions or things you want us to talk about next, make sure you leave them down in the comments below. And until then, we'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Bye.